violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, cyberspace? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Well, the police are continuing to investigate the shooting and what led up to it. Meanwhile, you are right. We did speak to the mother of the young man who obviously is grief-stricken.
He was a bright young man, had a bright future.
The mother of Lavelle Winslow lovingly remembers her son just hours after the 13-year-old was shot and killed at a West Ridge park on the city's north side. She spoke with ABC7 by phone this morning.
So these kids getting shot at the park, 13 years old, already got ops, or maybe it was random, who knows. But this is what it's come down to. And a lot of times the ops be like older kids, 18 years old, they don't care. 20 years old, beefing with a 13-year-old. This is how petty the community is. This is how these super gremlins are operating out here, bro. It don't make no sense that this young man should be X'd out right now. There's no reason why they should have Control Alt deleted my mans. These super gremlins are on demon time.
He was an AB student at Ridge Elementary.
Vanessa Winslow says Lavelle was the youngest of her 5 children. You could hear her smiling as she talked about how smart he was. She says the 8th grader had recently been moved to an advanced math class and eventually wanted to have a career in computers after graduating from high school.
Damn.
The teen's mother says her son was at Lerner Park with some friends Friday night when he was shot in the head.
Jeez. It's like that? This how we doing each other? This how we doing us?
Police are still investigating what happened in the moments leading up to the shooting.
He wasn't a bad child, not in the gang. He just was hanging with the wrong crowd.
Police say an off-duty Chicago police officer heard the shot and saw several teens running from the park. The officer...
So she said he was hanging with the wrong crowd. Like I said, he probably had ops at that age. Maybe they influenced him to go back and forth with another clique on social media. She said he wasn't in a gang. I don't know. A lot of times the mamas don't really be knowing. They just know he be out late and they can't do nothing about it. Especially with a 13-year-old boy. Like, by the time he 13 and he that big, a woman can't discipline that young man. That's why you got to have fathers in the home, because grandma cannot discipline that kid at all. And these women keep saying that they can. No, you can't. You can't you could barely discipline a 5th grader. You're not finna. And these black kids coming out bigger and bigger. Like, they big. All right. My man's, he looked like he was a good 230.
Found a wounded Lavelle on a park bench. The teen was rushed to an area hospital in critical condition, but later died. According to ABC7 data, Lavelle is one of 3 children killed and 12 children shot so far this month.
3 children killed, 12 shot this month. Not this year, not this quarter, this month. These super teen gremlins are on demon time.
This afternoon, the family is in mourning.
He had great potentials. He had a bright future.
Yeah, that's what the family says. And at this point, investigators say their investigation is in the very early stages, but obviously they're looking to talk to those teens who were with Lavelle here in the park last night. In the meantime, no one's in custody and no arrests have been made.
Hey, if you like that video,
She called.
13-year-old Lavelle Winslow was at Lerner Park in West Ridge celebrating a friend's birthday when he was shot and killed last Friday night, just before 10 p.m.
Last time I texted him, it was
8:30, 9 o'clock. Told him to be home.
Did you say time for bed? 8:30, 9 o'clock, and your 13-year-old boy is still outside? What happened to when the street lights go off? I'm telling you guys, and I feel bad for her. She seemed like she mean well. She had good intentions, but these women cannot control these young boys. And society wants to convince you that they can, and they cannot. Like, you really think you was finna, like, you don't tell him when to come in. He tell you when you need to be at home. He's the man of the house now. Ain't that what they be saying? It's a son-husband situation. She can't control that boy, and she know that. And it's hard for these single mothers, but like I said, a lot, you know, they choosing whatever they choosing. I don't know where the father was. Maybe I don't know. I don't know the situation. But it's just tragic, man. It is tragic. But like I said, these women need to stop going this strong independent route, because y'all cannot raise these young boys at all. And it shows. These boys is dying before they turn 15, dying before they hit the 9th grade, dying before they can even, you know, get their diploma or at least try to get their GED.
11, he said, okay.
Speaking out publicly for the first time since their son's death, the teenager's clearly devastated parents expressed outrage at what happened and at statements made in an email to constituents the day after the shooting by 50th Ward Alderwoman Deborah Silverstein that said police are investigating, but the shooting appears to have been an accident.
It was not an accident. It was murder.
Mm-hmm.
My baby was murdered.
Wow. You see how the alderman just, oh, it was an accident. What? Now that boy was X'd out. He was chopped out. It could have been a gang initiation. You never know. But they X'd my man out, bruh. These super gremlins are on demon time.
Premeditated, shot from behind.
For sure.
All I know is that my son was left under a gazebo, laying on a bench with a hole in his head, and was discovered by an off-duty police officer with a bunch of people running.
Alderman Silverstein today acknowledged the family's grief while addressing the recent violence in West Ridge that led to 3 fatal shootings in a 1-week period.
This is an evolving case. They are still interviewing many of the juveniles that were there. I am grieving about this as well. This was a horrible, horrible tragedy. It should not have happened. I'm very angry that we've had this uptick in crime in the 50th Ward, and I plan to be very proactive in advocating for more resources.
Sure, more resources. It's just more BS, bro.
Resources here in the ward.
The medical examiner has ruled Winslow's death to be a homicide.
He's no longer here. So we're gonna do everything in our power to make sure that my son receives the justice that he deserves.
As for the investigation, while Lavelle Winslow's family has implied that detectives know exactly who they are looking for, publicly CPD will only say that the case remains under investigation.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
So it means it's public.
Yeah.
It's public.
Yeah. No, it's not public.
She just said that to you.
A woman is now charged with a hate crime over an incident near the Winnetka Pier. Today, the man who took that video spoke with us about what happened.
Elizabeth Matthews live for us at the Skokie Courthouse with the story tonight. Elizabeth?
Oh, Lord, Karen's going wild, and it's so crazy because we're out here charging these Karens, but not charging these super gremlins on demon time. Now, I know these Karens can be a little annoying. They can, even go as far to be a nuisance. But so are these carjackers, okay? So are these Kia boys, water boys, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. They are pressing charges on this Karen, and they're not letting up. They're going harder on her than on these super gremlins. And I actually broke down a video where they were, you know, seeing how they could, I guess, deter carjackings by allowing the police to track your vehicle. And they said something interesting in that video about them not having enough time to really track your vehicle if it's not stolen. So they basically want you to give them access to your vehicle, you know, see your whereabouts, and they're not going to look at that data at all. They simply don't have time. But they got time to prosecute these Karens. And she's being charged with a hate crime, but they can't charge these super gremlins with a hate crime when they commit hate crimes against Asians all day. Even with the Stop Asian Hate bill, they're still not charging them with hate crimes. It's backwards, man.
According to the 65-year-old woman is from Northfield. Her initial battery charge was dropped, replaced with that hate crime charge. Tonight, her victim says that they were the only ones that she bothered that afternoon, and he says it was racially motivated.
The main thing that really got under my skin was that I didn't belong there.
Prosecutors say 25-year-old Odysse Campbell, who recorded the incident on his phone, was the victim of a confrontation that turned physical last month. At one point, the suspect, Irene Donoshaytis, said she thought he was going to kill her.
Oh, she did buck at him a little bit. She bucked at him with the arm.
He asks, "Is it because I'm black?" She says yes.
Do you want to kill me?
Not at all.
No?
Nope.
It feels like that.
Why would I want to kill you? Is it because I'm black?
I don't know, yes.
Campbell and two friends were finishing a 15-mile bike ride.
Well, hey, man. It's sad that it's come down to this, and the few are ruining it for the many, but also there is a there's a backlash that feels like is coming. You know, people are tired of the BS, especially in Illinois. They're done with it, and this is how a lot of the elderly gliders are reacting, the glider females, even though they most likely voted this stuff in. So it's not looking good, man. It is not looking good, bro. We got to clean up our image as a community. And you could say, okay, yeah, she's super racist. Oh my God, you know, racist Karen. Yeah, that's fine. But at the end of the day, we all know that she was speaking her mind. And you know, it's hard to argue it when you see what's going on in these streets.
Stopped at the Winnetka Pier at Tower Road Park. Prosecutors say that's when Donoshaytis confronted them, asking where their beach passes were, saying they didn't belong and weren't American. A park employee assured the woman the pier was a public area. But moments later, Donoshaytis hit Campbell twice on the arm.
Hey, don't touch me.
The woman's battery charge was dropped, replaced with a hate crime charge. She appeared in court on Wednesday, her attorney speaking on her behalf.
The idea that she's a racist is patently absurd. She's certainly not in any of our conversations manifested any sort of racism.
For this to happen like this is a good thing. You know, it opens up people's eyes. And there's racism on both ends. You know, we don't want to...
Okay, well, at least he's being fair. There's racism on both ends, but I mean, my man is acting like he's just some civil rights activist and he just found a sect of the KKK that was still in full operation or something. Like, bro, like you literally got a grandma prosecuted. Like, you're not doing nothing, bro.
Portray her as every single white person.
The victim says that he's glad no one was seriously injured, and he says he honestly wants this to become an educational moment. The suspect's attorney says that he believes it was a case of miscommunication.
It's going to be an educational moment, but y'all go hit his GoFundMe because he's emotionally distressed.
About those beach park passes. They are due back in court later this month. Corey and Don, back to you.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.